Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessTheTrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope everybody had a good day. A little bit of abbreviated version of this update. I got to record the video, then I'm going to drive to my daughter's game. We got about an hour drive, so hopefully we could fit in a bunch of things and get you set up for tomorrow. All I ask is take a second out, guys. If you like the content, click that like button and support the channel. Hopefully, again, I will take care of everything else. So after last week's very, very aggressive selling, all I saw over the weekend is this, the market's going to crash on Monday, market's going to crash on me. Guys, professional traders don't use the word market and crash in the same sentence. It's a very me, look at me, social media thing to do. Although I was obviously sell buyers going into the weekend, the pre-market open obviously destroyed pretty much all of my short setups with the exception of a couple. We'll get to that in a second. But folks, again, the last thing you want to do is be a mentee, okay, to the hyperbole, to the nonsense that you see on social media. Folks, the market rarely does extreme things. Extreme things happen when you completely don't anticipate them, right? So the idea of the market crashing, first of all, why? Why would the market crash? All you saw was an unwind on certain assets that had a big move. It happens all the time. The market crashes when there's a global geopolitical or a massive event that is so far out of left field, like a 9/11, like a mortgage crisis. That's when the market crashes, not because Bitcoin is unwinding, because silver and gold is unwinding. So be very, very careful. And again, use social media like you would use Netflix. We'll get to Netflix in a second, or Amazon Prime, or the Disney Channel. Use it for entertainment purposes. All you need to do is look at the charts. Everybody has the same data, and I promise you'll get further ahead of looking at that data instead of listening to nonsense on social media on the weekend basis. Anyway, let's talk about the market. So the market did not crash today. Market actually got bought up pretty quickly, was testing the pre-market lows around the 50-day moving average, and it held, and pretty great bounce, right? Pretty great bounce. Unfortunately, like I said, majority of my short setups that I was looking for over the weekend, they kind of died pre-market, so we had nothing left. But the problem was, well, there's always on the other side of the equation, right? When your one side of the market gets downed, right, or gets completely removed from your arsenal, well, this is why we prepare on both sides. If you watched the weekend video, literally the only long that I liked was Apple, right? Was Apple. They came out with earnings on Thursday. They had a nice run up into the close, and I said, well, if this is going to be the only one that we're looking at to the upside, hell, might as well be a market leader. And like I've been saying all these years, man, you don't need 200 trades a day. You only need one, YONO. And this was literally I traded Apple twice today off bounces. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I thought there was a shot it could get to 268, and it went through 268 like it wasn't there. The reason why 68 was an area of measured potential, well, that was the 50-day moving average. So not only did Apple reach the 268 level, it closed above it, right? Which is obviously a huge thing, considering Apple has been out of favor since it lost the 50-day moving average in January, going from 273 going all the way down to 243. So now the question is, going into the next few days, can Apple build off this momentum and not give back the 50-day moving average? Is it possible you see a little bit of profit taking tomorrow? Yeah, sure. It's possible you get some in the morning. Maybe it wakes up tomorrow in the afternoon. I will definitely be looking for a re-entry tomorrow in Apple into weakness, into rising support. And because if it can get back above today's channel tomorrow, man, you could get a second day push. That's the whole point about being above the 50-day moving average. It opens up a new horizon. It is the birth of a trend. So if Apple could get back above today's channel tomorrow, or even have an inside day for a potential rest going into Wednesday, I think all the Apple bulls will definitely sign up for that. Good things, right? Good things. Closed off my UPST swing. Again, talk about the 50-day moving average. Shorted it 4 days ago, got 4.5 points out of my last runner, which was awesome. And it looks like it wants to go lower, but again, down 5 days in a row after losing the 50-day moving average. It is what it is. Who cares? But again, all in all, pretty good move. Big story, obviously, overnight, or at least after hours, is PLTR. PLTR came out with earnings, currently up about 7% 7% as of about 10 minutes to 5 Eastern time. Again, by the time you guys see this video in an hour or so, who the hell knows? Maybe it's 165, maybe it goes red. I have no idea. But as of right now, PLTR did report a better top and bottom line beat. Adjusted estimates were 25 cents versus an estimate of 23 cents. And the revenues they billed, they beat 1.4 billion versus an estimate of 1.3 billion. But more important, the outlook. They guided higher for the future, which is a good thing. The estimate was 6.2 billion, and they guided in the range of 7.2 billion, which is obviously exactly what you want to hear on growth. Now, the bear case will turn around and go, the hell are you guys celebrating about, right? What are you celebrating about? The stock just went from 200 to 140. Where is the big celebration? Listen, it all depends, right? It all depends who you speak to. Again, if you are a day-to-day trader and you're looking for opportunities the next day, yeah, this is something to talk about. But I get it. I get it. It's very tough to celebrate for bulls if you have the stock, 195 only a month ago. It's very, very tough to get excited for the stock to be at 157, but I get it. I get it. So it all depends your perspective. As they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. But for now, really nice move after hours on PLTR on forward guidance. Let's get to Tesla, right? Let's get to Tesla. And so after the close, Elon basically confirmed, right? Basically confirmed that, let's see here, plans to merge SpaceX with XAI. Yeah, we've heard that already like 3 times, right? And every single time they say this headline, they spike up the stock and they sell it. Guess what's happening right now after hours, right? They spike the stock right now. The only difference is people are just realizing, well, wait a minute, it's the same headline that we've seen now 3 times in a row. Tesla at one point was up $3 after hours. Now it's only up $1. Guys, watch Tesla. Forget about the upside nonsense, okay? Until it gets back above the 50-day moving average, I have zero interest in Tesla. However, right, again, there is, another side to this thing. If they sell off this headline, there's, always a probability they could. Watch today's lows. The reason why today's lows were important because it correlates with last week's lows. And if you are a lover of technical analysis and an area gets tested twice and it holds twice, well, is it possible third time's a charm? And that's exactly what I'm kind of looking and hoping that's going to happen tomorrow. If they sell off this headline and we start losing today's channel, which correlates into last week's lows, you're going to have more downside. So definitely keep an eye on that as well. People would ask me now, like for weeks and weeks and weeks, when is SanDisk and Micron going to implode? Eventually they will, right? I'm not really, looking at these things on a day-to-day basis, trying to wonder when they're going to implode. They're going to implode when they lose the previous day's lows. That's how it happens, guys. They don't implode just by magically. Eventually buyers will run out, and you'll run out some. They'll get tired. But the way to kind of I don't want to use the word time because it's such an amateur thing to say, but it really is a scenario. It has to lose the previous day's range for it to be a short. Okay, a stock cannot go higher if it doesn't take out the previous day's highs, and a stock cannot go lower if it doesn't take out the previous day's lows. So all you got to do, if you are very organized, I look at myself to be a very organized trader, I always set alerts. Just set alerts. If you're looking to trade SanDisk on a backside trade, a Micron on a backside trade, do not try to guess the gas out to blow off top. You'll get murdered. You'll get run over. This damn thing goes up $50, $80 a day now. All you need to do is set an alert on the previous day's low. And if it confirms the previous day's low, that is the cheat code from a backside. If all these stocks, you saw SLV, again, if you look at SLV didn't implode accidentally. SLV imploded because it took out the previous day's channel. That's the whole point. Don't guess, don't anticipate. That's when you get run over. Be mature. Just wait for these things to gas out and wait for the previous channel's low. So let me give you guys some ideas for tomorrow, and then I really have to hop. Again, we talked about Apple. Again, use weakness tomorrow. Again, first close above the 50-day moving average. So use weakness tomorrow. Any type of profit taking for a potential entry in the morning. Who knows? Maybe it goes green in the afternoon. It goes crazy again. But here's some ideas I really like. Guys, watch Netflix. Okay, watch Netflix. Netflix came out with that horrible quarter, and it's just been kind of going sideways, keep on getting rejected off the 10-day moving average. I'm watching this thing through an entry of the earnings lows. This thing loses the earnings lows, I will be a seller. Look at Microsoft, right? Look at Microsoft. Same thing. See comments on Netflix for guidance, right? Same thing. If this thing loses our earnings low, I want to be a seller. Ironically, NVIDIA is not running up on the PLTR news. You figure NVIDIA would be still forefront of the AI generation. NVIDIA is actually going lower. Okay, it's not a clear short yet, but it's not getting that far from becoming one. It's not that far away from the 50-day moving average. I definitely want to keep an eye on it. It's not really for tomorrow. I mean, it could turn into tomorrow, but I think if this thing starts losing the 50-day moving average, I will definitely be interested, because again, if it can't rally, it just continues to show that it cannot rally. Again, whatever doesn't go up must go down. Guys, look at Shopify, right? Shopify on Friday closed below the 200-day moving average, and they got upgraded today. The problem was it didn't go up on that upgrade, and now it's building a ceiling below the 200-day moving average. Again, if you believe that the 50-day moving average is important, guys, look at the 200-day. What happens when a stock loses the 200-day? Let me give you guys some examples that we've been showing you for weeks. Remember Robinhood lost the 200-day moving average? Murder. Remember RGTI at 21? Lost the 200-day moving average? Murdered. You get the point? So watch, keep an eye on Shopify. I know their earnings are around the corner, but let's watch this thing. So far, an inside day from Friday selling. If this thing starts losing Friday's channel, this thing can get hit as well. So I'm watching Netflix. I'm watching Microsoft for potential earnings lows trade. I'm looking for a re-entry on Apple, especially into weakness. But if it does start going crazy tomorrow, it could be a day two above the 50-day moving average. I am definitely watching Tesla, assuming they hit the stock and they start losing today's channel. Will be interesting. And I will trade, at least I'll watch for a potential trade on PLTR. I want to see it. I want to see it show me that it could actually go higher. And the reason why I say that, again, it's very hard for me to get excited about a 2-cent beat, right? About a 2-cent beat after the stock lost about $50 worth of value in about a month and a half. I'll watch it, right? I'll watch it, but I'll probably look to trade it at least after 10 o'clock tomorrow, after the first channel starts setting up. But very least on the surface, pretty good numbers and pretty decent guidance. That's it, guys. I'm going to run to my daughter's game. Guys, if you are interested in pivots, all you got to do is click the link below. All it takes is 30 days to see if it's a right fit for you. Guys, God bless everybody. Hopefully, I will see you all in the field. Take care.